Hey, welcome to Week 10 recap for Division One. This is probably second hardest recap I have to do since doing these recaps. Again, just want to reiterate my condolences that I know we all share to Ian and to his family on his calling home. Um, Super hard. It would have been easy for me to skip over this one just because of the whole situation with Ian, which is like still pretty painful. To be quite honest with you, I mean, anybody like Ian's been in this league since I like to say like at least the last 8-10 years with us, rocking really strong. Won a couple of chips in this league. Just overall, just a really nice dude. Truly and honestly, a nice dude. Like interesting enough in another league that I'm in with him, also with Kevin overseas. You know, Ian and I a few weeks ago were playing against each other, and on that week, that's when Ridley initially I guess got ruled out, and Kevin had Ridley, and Ian put on a text. Not even we have a chat. But Ian went on a text because he's like this super nice guy, and told Kev like, hey, just FYI, you know, Ridley is like out, and the reason why I even share that story is because that week I was playing against them. One of the first things I said was like, "Yo, man, like you make it hard to want to hate you, just because I mean he's just a generally like nice guy, even in competition. Like he was like always like nice and things of that nature." So again, I just kind of say all that to say to everyone, as we enter the season of like Thanksgiving and the holidays and things of that nature, like just say a little prayer for his family because it's going to be extra tough on them this year and obviously in subsequent years, but this year especially being their first year without him. He will definitely be missed. He'll definitely be missed. So with that being said, with all that, I'm just gonna jump into this. And again, I just want to apologize ahead of time if I make any faux pas. I'm always gonna continue referring to his team for the rest of the year as Ian's team, and as if he's here, but it's only out of respect. So just want to flag that ahead of time. So jumping right into it, week 10, um, Carrie gets the weekly high score and gets her first win against Kevin. One of the jokes that I made is that Carrie now gets the drum leg or gets her first pick of either the turkey or the ham or the fish or whatever they're having at Thanksgiving. She gets her pick of the litter this year as she gets her first win in week 10 against her brother. So shout outs to Carrie on that one. Sorry about that. That was my daughter texting me. Um, then jumping right into it, something we've all been really keeping a close eye on, the survivor pool. Shout outs to Keith. Not only did Keith beat Kit this week, which is kind of like ironic, but he also in beating Kit, he stays in the knockout pool. So now the knockout pool only has two people left in it. It is down to this week between Phil and Keith as they go at it to see who wins the knockout pool. And it's interesting. Keith plays against me this week, and Kit plays against Lloyd this week. I'm 7-3, Keith 7-3. Phil's 6-4, Lloyd 6-4. So it's going to be an interesting matchup this week. But before we jump into this week, let's look at last week. Jumping right into it, looking at Kerry versus Kevin's matchup. See how this was all decided. Kerry gets to win 149.54 to 138.54. Interesting enough, again, Kerry. I know her record is 1-9, but again, don't forget, Kerry did not get knocked out of the knockout pool till like only 2 weeks ago. So it's not as if her team doesn't put up points. It's just that she's been misfortunate in playing people who just put up a lot more points. And then Kevin 138.54. Just been a really tough year for the vet. Looking at Kev's team, he had Elijah Mitchell give him 9.1. He had Von Jefferson give him 8.4. Defense gave him 9. Kick him. I mean, outside of that, Kevin had a really good week, honestly. Like, Dak gave him 30. Ernest Johnson gave him 22.7. Kirk gave him 12.8. Devontae Adams gave him 14.8. But I mean, Kevin had a really good week. And nothing on his bench. He has Ridley and Harris out, so nothing on his bench at all. Looking over at Kerry's team, she had Pat Mahomes show some life, come out with 46.24. Fournette with 17.2. She had Diggs with 30.2. Higby gave her 11. Braylon Edwards, she played him, gave her 17.8. Good call by Kerry on that one. and nothing on her bench at all. Everybody was either out or hurt. So huge win by Kerry. Moving on, you have Kit who lost against Keith. This was a good one. Kit falls to 6-4. Keith goes up to 7-3, 110.44 to 103.98. Looking at this matchup really quickly, looking at Kit's team, Josh Jacobs only gave him 8.6. Scary Terry gave him 11.9. Michael Gallup gave him 7.2. Mike Gesicki gave him 0. The reason this is ironic is because Keith and I made a trade this year for a tight end. Kit was like up in uproar about it. Meanwhile, Fan has been shit posted. But clearly, maybe Kit should have made some. Oh, and he also had Goddard give him 4.8. Tough one for Kit, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, getting fucking a 0 and a 4.8, it's really tough, man. Like, and then Josh Jacob giving you 8.6. Looking at his bench, he didn't have anything else he could have played, honestly. He does have Julio and Edmonds on his IR, but nothing else for Kit. Looking over at Keith's team, he had Rashad Penny give him 0. He also had Russell Gage give him 0. He also had his defense give him -5. When he said this in the chat yesterday, like, it blew my mind. Like, the fact that he got a win. So, like, the fantasy gods are like smiling down on you, Keith, because that is insane. He did that all with Saquon Barkley out, and Gronk currently out, and Devontae Parker's done for the year. So good win by Keith, just doing what he has to do just to get the win. Moving over, looking at, you have Ant, who lost 77.8 to Phil, 146.82. Looking at Ant's team, he had Zach Moss give him 8.7. He played Bell, gave him 0.1. Last gave him 2.7. IU gave him 5.6. Sutton gave him 4.6. Defense gave him 8. Kicker gave him 9. Nothing. He has Alvin Kamara and he has Chris Carson on his IR. So Ant's going to be a scary team in the second wave if those two guys are able to get healthy. Looking over at Phil's team, Phil, interestingly enough, had Jalen Hurts gave him 22.4, Eckler gave him 14.9, Travis Kelce, the resurgent Travis Kelce gave him 19.4, Darryl Johnson 29.4, defense gave him 14, kick gave him 12. Nothing really else on his bench. He does have Tyler Conklin, the tight end for the Vikings, but I wouldn't have played him, but he gave him 16.1. Huge win for Phil, goes 6-4, locks in the 5th place right now. Moving over, Jose gets a good win, 129.64 against Lloyd, 91.2. Lloyd falls to 6-4. Jose goes up to 5-5. Jose is in 7th. Lloyd's in 4th right now. And looking at Lloyd's team, Jeremy Menikas gave him 1.8. Emmanuel Sanders gave him 7.1. People Jones gave him 2.6. Wally gave him 6.4. Cardinals defense gave him 0. Kicker gave him 4. He does have Hunt and Henry both out for his team, but nothing else really on his bench. Looking over at Jose's team, he started Bridgewater, gave him 9.4. Aaron Jones gave him 12.6. Melvin Gordon gave him 9.3, and he has Jarvis Landry gave him 6.6, but he has CeeDee Lamb give him 28.6. He had the Dallas defense give him 25. See, Jose, that Dallas connection made it work. I like that. He did all that with Mixon and Kyler Murray all out for him. So huge win for Jose on a week of a lot of people being out for him. I played against Aricio. I beat him 126.54 to 89.09. Aricio falls to 10th. He falls to 4-6. I go up to 7-3 in 3rd place. Looking at my team. Looking at Aricio's team first. I just want to always get over. I also want to look at my team really quickly and get it over with. He had Aaron Rodgers only gave him 10.4. James, he had Kenyon Drake gave him 5.1. AJ Brown gave him 3.3. Dalton Schultz gave him 2.4. Crowder gave him 5. His defense gave him -1. His kick gave him 6. His team just didn't put up anything at all. Nothing really on his bench. Honestly, he has Brandon Cooks, but that's really it. Nothing else really on his bench. Looking at my team, Russell Wilson gave me 5.6. Darrell Henderson gave me 8.1. DK Metcalf gave me 5.6. DK Metcalf, you have to stop being so emotional. Like, got it. Like, you're gonna get suspended a game. Um, and then on my bench, I don't really have anything on my bench, honestly. Nothing really on my bench. So, and then going to Ian's team goes to 8-2. His team goes up to number one. He beats Greg, who falls to 4-6, 93.98 to 129.1. Looking at Greg's team, he played Matt Ryan, who gave him 0.68. Yikes. Quarter passing gave him 4.9. Cooper gave him 9.1. Mike Williams, who was the big sleeper of the year, gave him 7.3. Hoxton gave him 0. I mean, tough one for Greg. I mean, he did have Antonio Gibson on his bench, giving 21.8. Elijah Moore on his bench also gave him 13.8. He has Chubbs on his IR. Looking over at Ian's team, you have Carson Wentz 7.1. Tyler Lockett gave 4.3. But then again, he had Tyreek Hill giving 27.5. He had Cooper Kupp giving 23.2. A.J. Dillon started 26.8. He does have Chase that was on by. He has Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is also on his IR. So, huge win there. Moving on to next week. Jumping right into it. I play against Keith, 7-1. I'm in second. He's in second. I'm in third. We're both 7-3. Then you have Lloyd, who is in fourth place. Plays against Phil, who's in fifth place at 6-5. Same records. Ariso's 4-6 against Jose, who's 5-5, who's in seventh place. You have Greg, who is 4-6 in ninth place, and plays Anth, who's 5-5. You have Kevin, who is 1-9, playing against Ian's team, who's 8-2. Ian's team's currently in first place. And then you have Carrie, who's 1-9, playing against Kit, who's 6-4. So this is only for bragging rights, but should be interesting. All right, with that being said, I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week for the Week 11 recap. Peace.